Hello and welcome back to Detecting Valhalla. I've got a bit of a different video this time. The fields that we usually detect on have been ploughed. They are really deep, heavy plough, so we're unable to get on them. Our other fields, or the percentage of other fields, are all drilled, and unfortunately our farmer will not let us on there, obviously while they're drilled and they've got crops in the ground, so we are limited to bits and bobs on the edge of fields, etc, etc. So finds wise, it has been pretty thin on the ground. So this video I'm going to kick off with showing you some of the best bits from probably the last week. I'm then going to do something a bit different. So I'll turn you around and I'll show you the highlights of this week. So kicking off, we have a rather crusty looking George. George the I think it was George, yeah. There he is, in all his crusty glory. So, there we go. We then move on to an equally as crusty, although more forgivable, George. I'm not sure which one. I think it's George the second or third. Lovely Britannia on the back. Lovely patina on the coin. Unfortunately, detail's not so good. So that's that. A random piece of roundish lead. What looks to be a fragment of a bell of some description, possibly. 2 musket balls, 1 small and 1 slightly bigger. Always love finding a musket ball. Looks like a pot mend. Did think it was a splattered bullet to start with, but the lack of striations on this side, I don't think it is. The other thing it did get suggested, but it could be a cloth seal. So there we go. If you've got any ideas on that, let us know. And then move on to the biggest chunk of crotal bell I have ever seen. Shame we didn't find it all, because I reckon it would have been about the size of a cricket ball, which would have been a nice find. Nice bit of patterning on there. It's seen better days, but there we go. That's that. We then move on to this rather interesting object. So I'm not sure what this is. I initially thought it might be some kind of like seal, but obviously there's nothing on there. And then looking at it, I wonder if it's maybe part of a drawer or drawer handle or some kind of handle. So if you know what that is, let us know in the comments. Then got this, came up today, which is a rather nice little D-shaped buckle. Needs a bit more of a clean, but there's definitely some kind of patterning on there. And the back, well, back's fairly plain, but you can see what it used to be. Looks like a D-shaped buckle, so there we go. And then this was a nice find. This has now been identified as a barrel tap key, dating from, I believe, mid 1600s to sort of 1700, something like that. The detail and everything in there, it's just a lovely find, isn't it? That's that. And then the highlight of the week. Ta-da! Oh, there. Finally back on the Hammered. It's a tiny little, almost bent in half, short cross. I have made out Henry in there, so that could be obviously Henry 1, 2 or 3, or I believe could be John or Richard. So that brings me to this week's rather off-topic video. So what I thought I would do this week is I thought we'd have a crack at trying to straighten that out. Now, I have successfully straightened out a couple of these in the past. I'm just going to give up trying to show you that because it won't focus. But yeah, I have actually managed to straighten quite successfully a couple of these, so I'm going to give it a go. I can't see what it is anyway, so, and I already have a nice short cross penny, so I'm going to give this a go. We're going to heat it up. Obviously the process is called annealing, so we're not going to use any fancy terms though. What we're going to do is we're going to heat it up until it gets to a nice cherry red, which is the pretty much the sweet spot and the optimum, should be the optimum temperature. And then we're going to chuck it in some cold water and quench it. We're then going to drag it out and we're going to apply gentle pressure, and we're going to try and get this bad boy straightened out. So this probably will take a couple of attempts, so I'm going to video the process. And yeah, this week's video is either going to be a fantastic success and we will end up with a flat hammered coin that we can then identify properly, or it's going to end up with a hammered coin which is in one piece, broken into two, and basically useless. So without further ado, let's get the necessary things that we need to try and straighten this coin. Right, so the toolkit is very vast. I basically need one of these. It's basically just a little tiny, it's a little torch, little burner, and we can gently apply some heat, get it nice and cherry red, chuck it in the water, give it a quench, and then we can start the straightening process. So let's get on with it. Okay, one thing I forgot, the other thing you need is a pair of straight jawed pliers, and make sure you wrap them, obviously otherwise you'll end up scratching the face of the coin. So right, we're all set up. I'll show you the setup. Okay, so this is our setup. So basically what we have here is some water, obviously in a flat dish. I'm using I actually found this in the field and has never managed to identify it, but it makes a very good platform. Unfortunately, there's a great big hole in the middle of it. So I put a coin on the top there, and then what we do is we place our hammered on the top, and then we shall use the torch, ta-da, to heat this to a nice cherry red and begin the process. So there we go. So one tip is, as you can see, we're quite well lit at the minute, but for ease of actually finding and gauging the temperature, because obviously this is not scientific, this is just how I do it. So if we work in dim light, we can see the nice color of the silver, and we can gauge better when to obviously ping it into water. And yeah, so we'll dim the lights and let's get cracking. Fingers crossed. Right, so we've dimmed the lights, so let's get cracking. Okay, so you can see how that's now starting to change colour. We want a nice cherry red. Nearly there. There we go, we see we're pulling the heat through. There we go. Camera's not really doing it justice, but that is cherry red. So, into the water. Give it a couple of seconds. There we go, and then we can pick it up. Right, now we start. So, basically we're just going to start applying gentle pressure. I'm not going to go too mad, but we need to be fairly confident when we do it, but it's moving nicely. What we obviously don't want to do is go full in straight away and like crease the coin. So we're trying to avoid creases, but we're trying to not be too scared as well. So there we go. So that's the first pass, and as you can see, we're already starting to open up. So we'll repeat that process. Back soon. Okay, so we've just done another pass, and as you can see, not too shabby. I'm just going to give it one more pass because I've got a little bit of a ruffle just on that end, and then we'll have a zoom in on the coin and we'll see how we've done. So there we go. Yeah, won't focus. Right, one more pass. Okay, so we've done one final pass. Just going to give it the final straighten, and then we'll have a look at the coin, see how it's turned out. There we go. So that is our little hammered. So let me just flick you out. So as you can see, the process is definitely, the coin is flat. There's a tiny little crease just in there, but it is only tiny, and it's better than it was because obviously we couldn't even make anything out. So now we can see the legend, we can see obviously the bust, we can make out some bits and pieces on the back. Obviously there we go. So there is a small crease, but I mean it is only tiny. And there we go. We can see the pellets in there. We can see the short cross. We should now be able to make out the mint and Munia. So yeah, there we go. So all that remains now is to ID this thing, and there we go. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm now going to go and obviously try and ID this now. And I'm just wondering, should I just stay on? I'll tell you what, we'll ID it and then we'll finish the video. Right, I'm just going to give the coin a quick clean up before we try and ID it. So I'm just using my fibre pen, composite pen, just to try and clean off any of the, because obviously we've had heat on it, so I mean obviously the coin is now going to look pretty much like new. So there you go. So we'll give that a quick clean there, flick that over. Just need to get rid of some of that obviously byproduct from heating it up. There you go. I don't think we've taken anything away from this coin, to be honest, because when it came out, it was very silver anyway. It almost looked like a forgery. It was like super clean. So there we go. Okay, so I'll just give the coin a quick clean up. As you can see, there we go. As I say, almost looks good as new. Which obviously isn't going to be to everyone's taste, but you know, I'm not going to sell the coin. It's for my own personal enjoyment. So there we go. The little crease is gone. Oh look, it looks like we've got a scepter in there. Scepter in the side there. So right, let's get this thing identified. Okay, after a bit of detective work, I think what we've got is, and this is just my theory, I believe we have a Henry III short cross. 2 seconds. We have a Henry III short cross, so that is dating from 1220 to 1230. I believe the money is Adam, and it says Adam on Lund, which is London, and I'm pretty confident with that. So I'm just going to show you a picture of it, and then if you've got any other ideas, yeah, you can let me know. I'm probably wrong. If I am right, this will be the first time I've ever been right. So fingers crossed again. So there's the portrait side. You can see the scepter there, and there's obviously the monarch Henricus around the side there. I'll turn it over and let's see if you can make it out. But we've got the cross there, and then we've got ADAM around there, and then just in there I'm making out an L there, and then the U looks like it's pretty battered, NDE. So that is my guess. Oh, sorry about that. So that would be my guess. There we go. But yeah, I think it's Adam. There we go there. I think you'll agree it's come out quite well. And so we'll just give it a bit of a coat of wax now, and then that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Obviously it's a bit different, but you don't want to see me walking around fields for hours on end picking up bits of tin can. So, or maybe you do. If you do, let us know in the comments, and I'll be sure to take you on the next scrap retrieval mission. But anyway, I hope you found the video useful. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, if you want to have a go at straightening one out, it's up to you. Some people like to, some people don't. Some people obviously want to sell them, but I mean, I'm not interested in selling it. It's for my enjoyment. I found it. It's my piece of history. So, it's a bit shiny new, but it'll dull down over time. I'm just going to give it a coat of wax now. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want us to have another go in the future, then let us know in the comments. Your support, and obviously is greatly appreciated. The channel is growing slowly, so hopefully we can continue to offer some videos that you enjoy watching. So all that remains for me to say really is I'll catch you on the next one.